myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar stain. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down, I will make you hurt. I wear this crown of spit upon my liar's chair, full of broken thoughts I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else, I am still right here. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down, I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself, I would find a way. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. You could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down, I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself, I would find a way. You could have it all, my empire of dirt. I will let you down, I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself, I would find a way.
Why, hello. How's everyone doing? Why, it's the Division 2. I was thinking of playing other stuff, but I'm saving all of that for Friday. As you can see, I've got the setup for Extra Life already set up. I didn't feel like deleting all of it or hiding all of it. So it's up. You can do Bean Boozle challenges if you want and make me eat absolutely disgusting garbage. But yeah, I just wanted to play some Division 2, maybe hop around, play a few things today. In a finally slow time of year. I got my Dead Static Drive review done. I've got my my Void Train review in progress is done and set for tomorrow. And then probably on Friday I'll end up playing more of that game to try and get that review done. But yeah, it's a it's finally kind of slow in a way it has not been, which is really nice. John's finishing up right now. Oh, by the way, over on Giant Bomb's Game Mess Mornings with Messiel Gift Grub. If you didn't see him there, go say hello. But yeah, I just want to hang out, play some games, talk with chat, and generally just shoot the shit. Because for once, not going balls to the wall on reviews or other work or anything. So, it's nice. It was ever since early June, it has never really slowed down. Summer Games Fest in June, going to Treyarch early August for Call of Duty, which is out next week. So we'll see what that'll be the last big review thing of the year for me, doing the campaign. But then Gamescom, that whole trip was not a nightmare, but very stressful and just a ton of work. And the travel was stressful. Being at Gamescom was great, but getting to and from Cologne was awful. If I do it again next year, it's going to be I will fly to London, and then I will hop over to Cologne, because the London airports are fine. The Frankfurt airport is horrible, and I don't want to go anywhere near it. 5 hours to get to my... I left the Airbnb 5 hours before my flight. The train was half an hour late, and then the app did not work from Condor. So instead of being able to just go right to customs, get through onto the plane in half an hour or so, it ended up taking me 4-ish hours. It was about 3.5 hours. I got there with about 3.5 hours before the flight, and it took 3 hours and 25 minutes to get my boarding pass and through customs. It was horrible. And I made the flight at the last call, only because they realized, that flight's leaving. We got to get him through quickly. It was bad. So I would much rather just do what I did last time, go to London, then hop over to Cologne directly. Yeah. Man. I normally would go a couple hours earlier, but I was not feeling great this morning. I had the tummy rumbles pretty bad. Just didn't feel the best. So, and I didn't want to overlap John's appearance on Giant Bombaton, so I just waited until now, where he's ending, and I feel better. But how you guys doing? How's it going, Infinite Hero? Igor? Nissa Hauer? Hope you're doing well. Remember this Friday, all this stuff up at the top will be going in full with the 5th annual XboxEra. It's mainly just me. Extra Life. I'm doing a live stream all day, probably starting around 9 o'clock or so in the morning, Eastern U.S. There'll be a bunch of games up as incentives for donations. There will be, there's a ton of milestones, of which we have already hit many. If you go and look on the store, the charity page, which is tinyurl.com/EXLife2025. And that gets you right there. So, it'll be fun. We'll just be there, hanging out all day. John's going to try and come around when he can. He'll probably want to play Arc Raiders, and I'm going to tell him it's a terrible game for streaming. Because you can't, for charity streaming, because then I can't read chat or interact or do anything during the runs, which makes it a lot less of a charity stream, where so much of it is the interactions and the donations and the milestones and all that stuff. But we'll see.
Bad news is what? Bad news? God, do you have to be so old school? It's embarrassing. I know you two are thinking.
I'm looking for components to turn in to get an exotic. The 2 weeklies I end up doing a lot in this game are do the donations for an exotic and go to the skyscraper and clear 15 floors for an exotic. And it's fun. Division 2 is on Game Pass now. It's got a Warlords of New York expansion. And there's a big-ass fight going on outside. And Warlords of New York full expansion and the Battle for Brooklyn mini expansion. That's the one I'm already on? Yeah, that's the one I'm already on. I need more components. Especially like a green component. Could have more components in it. Alright, we'll go there. Yep. Yeah, a lot less reviews this time of year because there's just less coming out, which is why I think a lot of people are like, oh, Game Pass is so weak, nothing but indies. It's like, yeah, because all the major games just came out over the last 2 weeks. And it's also the wave where they do Call of Duty. So I think for most people, all of their time is going to be eaten up by Call of Duty. But there's still a bunch, like, I did the Dead Static Drive review. I think I'm still the only one because I reached out directly to the developer, and it never feels good to get a code directly from the person making the game and then give it a 4 out of 10. But it's also like, I gotta be honest, I think my reviews backed up pretty heavily by Steam reviews, which are full of similar gripes that I have, if I can word it that way. Like there are just some major problems with the game that, at a fundamental level, that can't just be patched. So while I'm hopeful that they'd be able to fix it, I'm not sure how likely that is. But I hope they do. Sometimes it's nice to be the outlier where something just didn't hit for you, but other people really enjoy it. But that doesn't really seem to be the case this time. Yeah, we talked about it on stream yesterday. And it's literally called Warhammer Survivors because they licensed the engine from Ponkel, and I think it's co-developed between a studio with the Warhammer license and the Vampire Survivors team. So that's really cool, using their engine. But the game I'm talking about is Dead Static Drive, which hit Game Pass last night. It's a game that I think was in development for over a decade. Whoa. But it still just has a lot of issues. No parts of it control well. It doesn't give you any tutorialization or idea of why things happen the way they do. It's just a bunch of cool ideas and a cool look with some neat music that isn't an enjoyable video game. In the past couple weeks, I've given Game Pass games a 5.5 out of 10 and a 4 out of 10. And I'm sure many people will still call me a shill because I really like Void Train, and that review will be up tomorrow, and you can see what I give it then. Yeah, he sent me a nice email just saying thank you for the like criticisms and for doing the work to do a review and that type of stuff. And it doesn't feel great when you're crapping on someone's decade of their life, but that's why the language used, the tone of the review, like I try to not be. There's obvious negative rage bait grifters who like their whole thing is, wow, what are they thinking? Lazy, stupid, idiot devs. And it's like, no, somebody tried to make something, and I don't think it turned out great. That's not their goal. Their goal isn't to make a bad game. Their goal is to make a good game that people like and want to buy a lot of, and so then they can make more good games. It just doesn't always happen. And it's unfortunate when it doesn't. I would much rather the things I review be enjoyable and fun, because then it's enjoyable and fun to play. I'm not. We're definitely not in the let's find things to shit on and be negative crowd, because that is the lazy shithead way that a lot of people go, where they will just, their entire personality and their entire focus is, how negative can I be? How angry at everything can I come off as? Because it's a lot easier than actually giving a valid opinion that isn't based in anger and hatred. Like, I know a lot of times I'll get called a shill or an idiot because I'm not negative by default. And it's not trying to be positive by default. It's just trying to look at something a little dispassionately to begin with. Like, it's not always going to be dispassionate. Sometimes things really are going to matter, and it's going to be a genre or something you really care about, and your bias will creep in pretty apparently. But, like, that is a review. Reviews are biased. There's no, I have come at this fully objectively. There is always a, I really care about this, or I don't care about this at all, or I'm somewhere in the middle type of bias. Oh, I'm sassy. I've gotten sassy a lot. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that your review has to have zero bias, What it has to be is backed up by the words you use, and any biases you have to be clear. Like, I love Souls games, I'm going to review the Souls game. Or, I don't like Souls game, but I'm going to review the Souls game. Like, the guy didn't have to like... The guy that shit all over Musu as a genre. He doesn't have to like Musu games, and he can have a perfectly valid opinion that lets people know, oh, I'm not normally into this genre. Is it good? Because that's a big thing for me with Void Train. I don't like survival crafting games. They're not my bag. Void Train is 1,000,000% a survival crafting game, but it's so good that I really enjoyed it, even though I don't like that genre. Hell, I don't even like Musu games, and I really like Dynasty Warriors Origins because it's the best one of those I've ever played. Do you think Code Violet game will be any good? I don't really trust that developer, and they seem to get defensive when you question things. I have no idea what Code Violet is, if you wouldn't mind illuminating me a bit. And it is always a weird and disappointing thing to get dragged into console wars, especially... Like, I know one of the main factors why we've always thought about rebranding is mainly because of all the bullshit we get dragged into, because there is a platform in our name, and it is the platform that people are the happiest to shit on. Like, people love shitting on Xbox. They just adore crapping on that platform. Fucking love it. It's their favorite goddamn thing. It sucks. It's not fun. Like and I don't think it's a very fun way to go through life. But another one of those is what it is things, but what it is really sucks. So it would be cool if it changed. Like, a lot changed in America's political landscape, I think, in a positive way last night. And it's funny because people will say, keep politics out of games, but then those same people are the type that would cheer the government using memes to talk about going after immigrants. They don't actually want politics out of games because games and art are inherently political. They just want politics that makes them feel bad or that they don't agree with out. And at which point, just like, go fuck yourself. Oh, but news is slowing down. I'm going to have to find more for headlines tomorrow. I know John and Nick are trying to get out of having to do a podcast this Saturday because I won't be on to produce it. So yell at them if you want a podcast because they're trying to weasel their way out and take a weekend off, which we never do. And honestly, they should be fine to be able to do. Like, we rarely miss a podcast, especially compared to many. So I would not blame them if they wanted to miss it. It'll be the first one I'm missing in like 2 years because I'm going out to a thing. The previous one was because I actually got to go out on a friggin' weekend trip for once. I haven't been on like a vacation in a very long time. Because while going to John's house last year could have been looked at as a vacation, it was still very much a lot of work. Followed by even more work at Gamescom. Yeah, you gotta tell them, man. Say, hey, we executive producers want a podcast. But also, we understand if you want a single weekend off. Because we'll have plenty of content this week. While you may not get a podcast, you'll have a couple of headlines. You've got John on Game Mess, and you'll have, I don't know, as long as we hit all the milestones, around 12 hours on Friday of streams. So, still a lot to watch and listen to. Along with a review from me and a review from John tomorrow. For 2 Game Pass games. Because we're still doing our best to try and review as much as we can on Game Pass. I'm trying to get Pigeon Simulator. I think they said I might get a code later in the week. We'll see. And then, obviously, Black Ops 7, depending on what they're doing, we'll have multiplayer, zombies, and a single-player review. I'll do the single-player review. Barry will do multiplayer and zombies, like always, and yeah, it'll be fun. John's finishing up his Arc Raiders in progress. He keeps going through more and more runs. We do enough content. I think that's one thing we've realized. We need to keep doing that much content. But we don't need to force a lot more. Like, we can take a little time off here and there instead of doing the, you know, like, I just did 3 months of 10 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Like, it really is just, if I'm awake, I'm generally looking to do something for the website or the YouTube. So, yep, and then we'll do a future, it would have to be a two-parter, but a future extremely long subathon, as long as we hit the right, like, we're going to do a subathon no matter what, but it'll be a really long subathon if we hit the milestones we want. So, could have that to look forward to. I almost died like an idiot. Hey, Fizz Viper, my Wednesday's going well. I'm just having fun playing some The Division. And of course, because she has the worst timing, and I tried to do it earlier, but she didn't want to, the doggy now wants to go out. So, let me do that real quick, and like always, I'll be nice and I'll set up a droid cam so you can see all the pets as I go through the house. Oh, where's my droid cam thing? It's normally over on this monitor, but I don't see it. Where are you, droid cam? Oh, it went behind. Okay. Boop. Alright, camera's up. And camera's also upside down. Let me fix. Okay, and... why are you not doing it? Where's the cat cam? Oh, it's tiny. Oh, why is the cat... hold on. It's really small, I think, because of streaming with Amanda before. Boop, boop. Okay. Aha! Here, this is how I know that she needs to go out real bad. Don't get your head caught. There's my whole setup. Yeah, one sec. Let me just turn this droid cam off. Hey, Ben Angelo. And there, one happy dog who has now been fed. Okay. 3 emails, but smaller PC only things. Oh, man. Okay. Oh. Man. All right, I was going this way. You're too close. Microphone. Supposed to be about here, I believe, but I... oh, wait, no, I don't have sound... So I don't have any, like, soundproofing or anything in here. So I have to be very close, or else it echoes. Yeah, I figured I'd sneak a stream in.
Hostiles incoming.
And there haven't been nearly as many streams lately. And the simple reality is they don't make any money. So they're almost entirely just because we want to play something and for the patrons. So if we had more patrons, we could do more streams. But we've never been a community that gets a lot in the way of like super chats or gifted subs or anything. I do think it's a blessing and a curse because of how professional we look, where we don't just look like a guy in their living room, even though that is literally all we are. There's just a couple of people in their living rooms. But thanks to Predrag's amazing art, it's really helped us in looking more professional right off the bat, which helped a lot as press. But when you're doing the content creation side of things, I just don't think people think of it as much. Because I'll watch way smaller podcasts with far fewer viewers when they're live, and yet they will just get they'll get like hundreds of dollars in super chats, whereas I think that's happened to us like twice. Which is fine. We're lucky to have the amount of Patreon support we have, but it's the main reason we have to focus so heavily on the website. Is all the boring, dumb work you guys don't have to worry about on the website is what pays for us to do the reviews and live streams alongside the Patreon. So it's a balance. Like I love streaming. It's a lot of fun when I'm playing something. It's nice to be able to stream it, but it doesn't pay for itself at all. Like we would make a lot more money from a website if my 2 hours of streaming were 2 hours of writing shitty SEO work. But then I'd go insane, and the patrons would be annoyed because I've been told repeatedly a big reason a lot of people do the Patreon is because they enjoy watching our podcast and our reviews and our streams. So, just a little inside baseball on the thought processes that go behind stuff, and why it can be hard sometimes to always have like a schedule for it. As nice as it would be, it's not the easiest thing in the world to just say we're definitely doing this now, because so much of it comes down to, is it a really busy news day? No, okay, I can afford to do some streaming.
Hostile sniper turret detected.
Wow. Man, that guy died just from the plague. Plagas. I'm gonna build up my full stack on your shield, idiot. Yeah, I know John wants to try and like regulate streams a little more, but I don't know that it's gonna work. The stuff you can regulate is generally less tied to, is it a busy workday or not? Because I never know if it's going to be like a busy news day or stuff. So a lot of times these streams come up because like, I finished Void Train, everything I could do in it yesterday, the review in progress is done and written. There's nothing scheduled for the site as far as I know video wise. I can do a stream And it's just hard to know that ahead of time. Whereas like tomorrow, I know there are 2 video reviews and headlines. So all 3 of our notifications are gone. So if anyone was to stream tomorrow, there'd be no notification, which is very important when it comes to live stream, because we don't have a huge audience to begin with, and without the notifications, it's even smaller. It would be a lot of fun if we were making enough money, like just from the Patreon, to hire Nick. Which first it would have to be big enough to actually pay the 2 of us, myself and John first. Which is, it's just, to be honest, it is nowhere near. Then you'd see a hell of a lot more content like this. Like we would have a full kind of funny style schedule be possible, because we'd have multiple people covering multiple time zones. Be like, okay, on this day and this day, this guy does this, these guys do that type of thing. Because there would be less emphasis on the never-ending news grind. Or, honestly, if we were making enough money for 3 of us, we could have more people that are, like, actually contracted to do news and get paid based on how the news does, like a lot of websites do. So those are like hopes and plans, but for now, it's very much a mindset of keep doing what we're doing, do it more efficiently, so that we can also add in more website stuff, because the website stuff has far more upside on making money than a YouTube video. As I've said before, a YouTube video that does 500,000 hits can get you like $600-700, which sounds amazing until you remember that if the website got 500,000 hits in a week, it would be like 15 grand. It is so much more money. It would probably be even more. It would be a lot of money compared to YouTube. But 500 grand is like a couple months for us on the website sometimes, not a week. So it's also a lot less likely to happen. I wouldn't let you do a super chat? That's weird. A lot of times if a stream is unlisted, you can't do a super chat, but it normally should work. YouTube's always weird with their moderation and their monetization stuff. That is something that is easier on Twitch. But unfortunately, I was trying to stream us to Twitch and have everything be a co-stream, but the streams were down to like 3 views total. Like, not 3 viewers at once. The entire stream had 3 people watch it at some point, and that was it. Whereas, like, most of the YouTube ones end at 300 or 400 views. Like, the good ones. Sometimes you'll get 150, 200 to start with, but they generally get to 500 or more. But even then, like, the ad money on YouTube, which is way better than ad money on Twitch, is like 50 cents. It is nothing. Yeah, looking like a big company is a strength when it comes to PR contacts and getting invited to things as press and treated respectably by companies. Maybe not peers. Definitely not peers all the time. Which is why you'll never see me bad-mouthing Grub or Jez or Rand or anyone like that, because they treated us great right from the start. Even though Nick was around. But yeah, being treated great by a lot of the peers who are like, oh no, support independent journalism. It's like, but not that type of independent journalism. Just us and our friends. Oh, this fucking sucks. Like the amount of people I've helped build PR contacts or get games in general is pretty high relative to our size versus some of them, or even just fame. Like some people who are really well known, but then you actually look into it and it's like they're not independently big, but they were part of websites that were. And then helping them out, and then it just ends up being one-way street, and it's like, cool. Thanks. I really don't ask for much or often, but the very rare few times I do to get a no immediately or just full-on radio silence when I know you read it Never feels great. Some of the ones that are the most confusing are like, oh, people that are like me, depending on gender or ethnicity or whatever, don't get invited on these shows very often. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're not big enough, so I never really thought to invite people of your size onto the show before. But hey, yeah, if you ever wanted to be on, just let me know. And nothing. Still more posts about how every show is just a bearded white guy. And I'm like, yeah, I know we love having guests on. Do you want to be on? And then never a response. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, you are just farming engagement on social media. You don't actually want to be on smaller shows. You just want to use those smaller shows to shit on to get people to agree with you, and so you feel good. That's the type of shit that drives me crazy. Like, I would love to have you on. Do you actually want to be on? No. Okay. Don't pretend that you do then. But like, no, people just do that because they don't actually give a shit. And that's the shitty side of it. Like, there's a lot of people who are treated horribly and targeted by awful people. But it's also their brand. Their brand is also getting engagement in a similar, less evil way. But like their main thing is to delve into controversial topics and then try and play like they're better than everyone else just because they've made it into a friend group or grew up in were raised in an area that is known more for games coverage. Like, I've seen YouTubers that are just regular ass people in their bedrooms that understand the business way better than you ever have. Just because you got a journalism degree doesn't mean you're actually any good at covering anything. But hey, that's life. Yeah, so the PlayStation Portable had been able to cloud stream for a year, but this is coming out of beta and getting some new features added, which is always cool. But thanks everyone for joining me. If you could hit the like button, that engagement metric is one that YouTube cares a little bit about, and it helps get us pushed occasionally to more and more new folk. And growth is good. I like it when XboxEra grows and gets bigger, because as I said, I think we do enough good work that we don't really need to add a ton more. I think the main thing I'd like to really add is more patron-exclusive interviews. So things that aren't tied to promotions, like a lot of our 1v1s and interviews have been directly tied to promoting something new. So being able to maybe have less focus on news cycles and more on just having an entertaining discussion would be really fun. And I think a good way to grow the Patreon a bit. Because exclusive content helps, but it has to be like broad audience exclusive content. And for us, broad audience is mainly just can we get some big name video game people. And I think more video game people and less video game coverage people, but a mix of both would probably work. Ow! They got me. I can still see you in the dark. Froggy Videl. Videl is Gohan's wife. With one less D. She only has a single husband. Just constantly getting blinded by something. Who's blinding me? Yeah, PlayStation focusing on the cloud, focusing on play anywhere, like or their cross-buy variant, which they've done cross-buy in the past, but it was a much more limited integration, only on essentially their own platforms, which is why I do think if they were ever to do it on PC, they would want their own launcher to go along with it, because they can't do cross-buy with like Steam on everything. No, I think only Steam did that with, was it Portal 2 on PS3? I think had cross-buy between PC and PS3. Ow. Sorry, lady. Enjoy your death. You must have been what was constantly freaking blinding me. Ow. I'm just gonna let everyone die. Hey, Jay. Hope you have a easy work day. Thank you again for the 2 beans yesterday. You're now our top donor, as it says in the top right over there. We'll see if that changes on Friday. You're $10 ahead of Spartan P451, who has also beamed me repeatedly. And I still taste the stinky socks, which is the grossest one. It really just tastes like what smelly socks smell like. Like, I went to the gym, and these are the socks I wore, and oh my god, I forgot them over there, and they've been in the corner for 3 days. That type of just terrible smell in your mouth. For charity. Thank you for the $3 super sticker, Jay. Super stickers don't show up on here for some reason. It should pop up soon, but it doesn't always. Streamlabs has been having some issues. Like, I remember the Extra Life donations took half an hour to come through that night. They were there for the morning, so I could replay them. But yeah, the super sticker has not shown up in Streamlabs yet. And thank you very much. Or Pear character punching the air with fist and bump written on his knuckles. I look forward to seeing you then. As is, I'm gonna have to hit up. I'm gonna have to do a news roundup tonight for make sure headlines is set. I guess I don't need to do one for Saturday if they're not going to do a podcast. I told them they need to let people know. People are going to be disappointed if they wait to find out that there's no, potentially no podcast because I'm not around, and John and Nick are lazy.
Hostile striker drone detected.
Striker drone. I need to keep an eye out for, Nah, this will probably be it, Jay. If I do the next stream with Amanda, it would probably be like Sunday night. I know she wants to play more Borderlands, so. Tomorrow's full. Friday will be full, but maybe she'll be on Friday to play something with me in the evening. And then we're out on Saturday, and then she'll probably want to do something on Sunday.
Situation nearby.
The community is always going to vote to have a podcast. It's unfortunately, as nice as it might be sometimes to let the community vote, I'm not big on doing it often. As I've stated multiple times in the show, like we do a lot more than I think any team of our size does, because our team size is literally 3 people treating this as full or part-time work, like actual work, and then volunteers. And I think for that, like I know some websites that are one owner who makes all the money, and there are 30 volunteers who are paid in games by them. We don't have that. We've got like a tiny amount of people, and we put out a lot of stuff. So missing the occasional podcast, you know, we do once or twice a year at the most. Most years it has been 0. So But this is also the time of year where the holidays and things slowing down, the type of content changes a little bit. There can be a lot more streams. There's a shift to working on Game of the Year stuff, so I'm sure John and I will have plenty of streams where we're just catching up on games. Like, I'd probably like to do a long stream of Keeper at some point in December so that I can have that game done and played and know if it ranks in my top whatever for Game of the Year 2025. But don't worry, there's going to be a lot of content. Like always, tomorrow's got 2 reviews and headlines, and then Friday's got as long as we hit the milestones, at least a 12-hour long stream, or a little shorter than 12, because YouTube breaks at 12 hours and stops recording VODs. So you either have to make a second VOD or just call it. Oh, you got the plague, lady. You're done. See you, Jay. Yeah, this is work, and it can get overwhelming at some points if you don't take any breaks, but it takes a hell of a lot more to become that way than any other job I've ever had. It took a solid 3 months of, like, 70-hour weeks or more with heavy travel involved to really feel a bit like I need a break a couple weeks ago, once it finally really slowed down. So that's why there were less streams, alongside the fact there were just too many videos. Like, even if I wanted to stream tomorrow, it would have to be on, like, the Twitch channel, which I do think I'm going to tell Nick and John, whenever you want to stream anything and you just want to stream, you don't have to worry about notifications, you don't have to worry about viewer count number hurting the channel if it's too low, because it is a thing with YouTube. If you're just not getting views on videos on live streams, it will hurt your algorithm for getting them on podcasts and stuff, because they're all the live stream bucket. But we've got the Twitch channel, and you can stream to the Twitch channel whenever you want, no problems. So you might see that used a lot, especially by Nick during the holidays and stuff. Like, Nick, whenever he's just shooting the shit and having fun in Fortnite or Rocket League, why not do it on the Twitch channel when he wants? He's got a good setup for it now. And if it gets to a point where he can have, like, a weekly stream on YouTube, awesome. But those end up having to be not Tuesday, not Thursday, because so many embargoes are Tuesday and Thursday, and headlines is every Tuesday and Thursday. So it's really hard to have another stream on top of those, because you only get so many notifications. We really need notifications on stuff. It is nice that this game is finally on Game Pass. Took a fair amount of time, but I think it's got enough. Like, it's got the 2 expansions, one being a full expansion, one being a mini expansion, where, like, the content is enough, where they can put the base game into a subservice, and there's things people are going to want to buy that aren't just outfits. There are good missions to go do and areas to open up. If you have any questions or anything, just feel free to hit me up. Super chat's always appreciated, but never necessary. We always answer super chats because we don't get, like, an insane amount of them. But we definitely try and answer everything we can. I will say it is still disappointing to be constantly dragged into shitty high school level drama. I think it mostly would stop and go away if Nick wasn't so addicted to Twitter. We definitely get involved in shit because he loves wading into the muck. Though I do think that's happened less and less because the muck is so boring. Where it's like, yeah, Nintendo's selling bajillion consoles, Microsoft stopped trying to sell consoles, and Sony is trying to sell them, but not in the same way. They are diversifying. They obviously still care more than Microsoft does about the console sale number, but it is also because they are more heavily reliant on it. But Microsoft and Nintendo are both heavy margins first companies now. Like, that is their focus, is getting their margins up. That's why you see them diversifying. Hell, even Nintendo is focused on keeping the margins up because they're selling a ton of Switch 2s, but when you're selling consoles, you're losing a little bit of money, or like your margins just aren't as good as they were when it was Switch 2. Switch 1 is out. It's insanely cheap for us to make. Let's have 40 friggin% margins without even breaking a sweat time. So they've had to raise prices a lot. Microsoft has raised prices a lot. Sony has raised prices a lot. Nintendo has not closed studios and fired people because they have a very different setup on how they do game dev, where a lot of it is contracting out like Bandai Namco and other studios and stuff to help them work on games, whereas Microsoft and PlayStation have both fired a ton of devs, closed multiple studios, canceled a lot of games. Yet, because Microsoft is so big and spent so much, like, Microsoft still has a ridiculous amount of first-party stuff coming. Whereas, honestly, the first-party stuff, because they don't put it into PlayStation Plus, isn't as important for Sony. It's always been more of a marketing thing and more of a, like, an ecosystem overall play. But they know their ecosystem is heavily powered by third-party. We are the default platform to play FIFA, to play NBA, to play Madden, to play Call of Duty mindsets. So a lot of times Microsoft and Sony end up in the exact same place. They just take very circuitously different routes to get there, as Mr. Grubb said today on Game Mess. They tend to end up in the same spot, a spot that Nintendo never will, because Nintendo is very different. But all of them are heavily diversifying right now. Nintendo is really focused on their movies and their theme parks to be new avenues to make more money and raise their overall... no matter what, they are all beholden to shareholders and making more. If it was just about being sustainable, Microsoft could have kept making Xbox Series consoles like they had been, and they were selling really well in 2023 up until they decided to stop making them because they spent $1 bajillion on Activision and were like, all the growth we were seeking from selling consoles, we have just gotten by buying 3 publishers in Activision Blizzard King. We can pull back from these very expensive to produce hardware units and focus instead on upping our margins to match the 30% target that our hardware divisions have. Because the actual target for most of Microsoft is 70% because they're software, and so there's inherently less cost in it. Until AI hit, and then you've got to spend all that hardware, and you've got to do all that work on paying for energy, like just insane amounts of energy bills. But it has been a weird thing where people are always like, man, I don't know what Microsoft is doing. They're just always changing. It's like, you can go back and find really old interviews where Phil Spencer talks about it, and it's not new. It just happened way more quickly than they were expecting it to. Like, yeah, they had the let's get exclusives from Bethesda, let's sell consoles, oh shit, Activision's looking to be bought. Okay, that'll immediately accelerate the plans we have to make us have to focus on margins because we are now at the revenue targets, and so the main thing for our company will be margins. It's like it's not new, it's not schizophrenic plan changing, it's oh shit, we're at our targets. Time to go to the next targets, because that's all this business is about, is making more and more money in different ways. No idea if it works. And I don't care. It's on them. Always one of the annoying things too is like trying to explain to people. No, like there was one guy I had a good conversation with on Blue Sky, and it was essentially him talking about they gutted their gaming division. And I was like, no, they didn't. They still have like over 20,000 people that work there and over like 35 studios, the 31 to 35 studios, something crazy like that. Like their division is too big to be gutted by the amount of people they fired or laid off legally, and studios they shuttered. And also, like, when you buy a Bethesda and you buy an Activision, you are able to buy them because they're not in great shape. They have very valuable assets, but they themselves aren't in the best condition, which is why they're looking to be bought. And especially with Activision, as we've talked about before, hiring like more than doubling or fully doubling their headcount while being bought. We are lucky that they didn't fire as many as they did. Lay off. I just gotta say it legally correctly. I think a company less PR focused than the Microsoft gaming division probably would have fired a lot more people. And if they hadn't been bought, those divisions weren't super healthy and probably would have fired a lot more people than if they had been bought. So while it sucks and no one needed to be laid off, if it was about sustainability and just making money in general, there's always more to it. And when you try and explain the more to it to some people, they're like, you're defending. And it's like, well, no. It is very much a, just trying to help explain why shitty things happen. Not that it's fine that shitty things happen. But also there's subtlety and nuance to discourse around business. It's not all bad. It's not like AI bad, all generative AI bad. It's like most is. Most bad. But there are tools that people will use that they are paid well to use these tools that were built off of their own models that weren't stealing IP. Those tools are fine. The ones that are just Sora, where it's like, I'm going to go in and take every wrestling match, and now I can have a WWE match starring me. That's garbage. Like, that's the bad generative AI. I'm going to go quickly grab a drink. I'll be right back.
Hostile striker drone detected.
All right. Man, my phone loves to ding. I have a Discord notification. Hey, what do you know? Mr. Beast kind of sucks. Shocker. Thinks that New York City is doomed now. Because he's incredibly rich. And somebody who wants to actually tax the rich is the mayor. Yep. John is a knowledgeable man with a good voice for discourse. I think it's a lot more smooth and soothing than I am.
Hostile striker. System restored. System malfunctioning.
Through your malfunction. What is your major malfunction, numbnuts? Boomsh. Open the door for your daddy. Poor Nick. He was going to be on one time, but then Matt Piscatello agreed to be on, so he got bumped. I'm sure someday Jeff will get him there. I am curious. Christmas falls on a Saturday in 2027.
Active terminal detected.
I'm guessing Grubsmas might have to be delayed that year. I just got an email. By the way, if you see any big news posts, just let me know. Anything big hits, so I can quickly jump on it as I eat my bread. I love this build. Deep Game Pass? No. I know some things, like I don't think Target is honoring the $20 price anymore. I think there's Eneba, E-N-E-B-A, that some people use. I have no idea if they're any good or not. I just know I've heard of them. Didn't mean to throw it there. Fuck.
Terminal controlled.
Use this goddamn friggin' turret I threw on the ground. Ooh! Exotic assault rifle. I probably already have it. St. Elmo's engine. I do have it. It's a pretty good roll, though. I'll see if it's better than the one I have. I think St. Elmo's engine is about shock ammo. So, 12.4 and 19 versus 13.9 and 17. Okay. Yeah, one I got's better. St. Elmo's engine. When shooting an enemy, will give this weapon will give 1 stack. At 100 stacks, next magazine will be filled with shock ammo. Yeah. I am good on Game Pass through January 2027. In large part to the fact that all the handhelds and laptops that I reviewed gave me 3 months at a time. So I've been built up from that for a while. Then the ROG Ally X, the Xbox Ally X gave me like another month and a half or something of Ultimate. Might have been like 7 weeks, I forget. 6 weeks or 5 weeks. I'm not sure what the conversion was. But also, through this thing called Keymailer, as long as I'm once a month even just streaming a Game Pass game, which as you guys know happens a lot more than that, or doing any type of Game Pass coverage, They give me a month of PC Game Pass, which adds on like
System
a
disrupted.
little under 3 weeks of Ultimate.
Activated.
Oh, you're so dead. Oh, 1.3 million damage pistol headshot. Not bad. We got him ambushed! All dead. Well done, idiots. It will really suck if Streamlabs is struggling tomorrow. Because this is yesterday from Jay Foley, but I've redone the announcement thing for Extra Life. So it's a nice, loud, but not too loud, and clear what it is notification for Extra Life donations now. And that one was from yesterday. Val Venus. He's my favorite wrestler. Burn. Sorry, lady. Ooh, she blew up and killed that lady. It was nice to see that yesterday was a pretty heavy rebuke on the everyone hates everything crowd. People who ran on platforms about empathy and caring about people and trying to make things better won. It's very nice to see. Brr. Sorry, lady. Oh, someone behind me. No, you die, Baldy. Yeah. Yeah, I spent $60 a month ago and got the kid 3 months more Game Pass because they use it a lot. Oh, shit, it's really dark after I break that vending machine. Or after I broke. Or after breaking. Want an English good. Oh, I'm gonna lay back a bit. Oh, what do you want, John? Yeah, it was a good appearance on Game Mess for him. I think it was a nice rebuke of people that pretend like Microsoft never has any idea what they're doing or any fan base. Like, their user, who would ever even want to buy anything on there? It's like there's dozens of millions of people. Xboxes stopped being sold because Microsoft stopped shipping them more than any other reason. You want to call that out as a dumb design or dumb choice or anything? Go for it. You might 100% be right. But it wasn't something done like on a whim for no good reason other than greed. It was heavily tied to their plans as a division in that company. So, I don't know, but you try and explain that and people get mad because right now it is very much a just shit on anything Xbox to get internet clout type of atmosphere. Email. Arcane Eats demo on Steam. Good luck. Good luck with your demo in game. demo emails, early access emails, and pretty much anything that's PC only that doesn't look great, I just don't pay attention to anymore. When you get like 150 emails some days, it's really hard to fully read all of them, and so you do skim and then decide if it's worth to continue reading or not. I'm sure happened to us a non-stop when the console wars email went out, because almost no one covered it, even the places that directly requested a version to review. And John spent a lot of money sending out a lot of review decks, and there was like 3 or 4 that actually bothered doing it. And that sucked. It was money we did not have to lose. It was like our marketing budget essentially was just trying to get people to do reviews or any coverage at all. We got almost none. And I don't bring up console wars all the time to you guys because you already know about it and many of you already bought it. So I imagine it would be pretty annoying if I just kept bringing it up all the time. So in case you're wondering why we don't talk about it a ton, it's because for our audience, you guys already know. I know as somebody that's like supported things in the past and then felt like all they do is ask for more money from the same people over and over again, it turned me off quite a bit. So I always try to not be like that. Yeah. I think the main thing that'll change on Game Pass is that they won't have to have a PC tier. I mean, it doesn't have to change necessarily. Because like if it's a hybrid, but you are still sandboxing off an Xbox side of it and a PC side of it, maybe you don't have PC Game Pass anymore. I don't know. I'm guessing they'll still have PC game. It'll be the same, but no paywall. Like no paywall on multiplayer. That's why they added in extra value already of streaming your own games, streaming older Game Pass games that are in those tiers, getting all the day one ports. Like Void Train 1.0 is coming out on Friday, but it's also in premium because it's not a day one launch. Like you can already pay and play that game now. So it is only a day one launch if it's day one early access. So it will be interesting, but I think a lot of the changes they did now are setting up for then. I think one of the main things that's happened, especially being like an enthusiast-backed company now, press company, not just influencers or creators, but a press company that has a website and is seen as press throughout the industry, is when it is an industry so heavily dominated by people that it was just a job. It's not their company. They're just working at a big company. And once many of them, unfortunately, get fired, the passion or the knowledge base isn't there to do all the stuff that we do, even though we are amateurs in comparison, in many people's eyes. It's always been interesting to see. Like the fact that I never made a video, hell, I never wrote a review before volunteering for XboxEra. But I think I put enough hard work and dedication into it where people look at it similarly to people who have been doing it for decades of their lives and went to school for it and all those things that have always seemed so important in the past. Once you're like directly involved in it, feels oddly less important. Not unimportant, but less. Because in the end, people are still people. And the amount of hard work you put in and the person you are is the main thing that matters. Like John and I aren't like trained editors. Or not, Ursul's not. Predrag is a professional artist. He does artist work for a living. But it wasn't like video game. I'm a big PR marketing guy figuring all this out for them. Stuff. It's all been learning on the fly. And I think that on-the-job training has been incredibly useful. Because we have multiple people who can write, narrate, and edit their own review videos, and I think that goes a long way for differentiating us from a lot of people. Like, I know how so many that worked at major websites get laid off or decide to go out on their own and are very surprised to realize all the news stuff used to just be covered by the people that I worked with. And now I have to do all of it, and I don't have someone to do my editing, and I don't have the budget to pay someone to do my editing. So I gotta learn it on the fly and have enough content for people to think my Patreon's worth it, and it's non-stop. When you are an entrepreneur trying to build your own brand and identity and everything, it is not a 9-to-5 job anymore. It is a I am awake or I am asleep type of thing. You can't find a work-life balance much early. You will try and get into a groove and find it later. We're starting to get into that groove a bit.
Hostage situation nearby.
And it will be interesting to see, like, as far as covering Xbox next generation, what console do we cover? Does everyone get all of them? Like, if there's 5 different OEM boxes at some point, handhelds and shit, like, it completely changes the paradigm on how you review something. Do we need 2 or 3 people covering everything because this guy's got this device and this guy's got that device? What do we get sent from each company to work on? How many? Is it one person gets one? Like, 2 people get one? It's going to be very interesting to see. And in the end, I think a lot of times it'll be, I'm definitely covering it on PC, and I have this device, so that's what you get to hear about, and that's it, because we don't have the time, the budget, the number of people, and the resources for everyone to have every device. But everyone has a PC, because we need them all for editing. Anyways. I think by default, we would all want to have the Microsoft branded one. But if there's also handhelds and like super powerful ones and more budget ones and whatnot, like there's a bunch of different options, then we'd want to have all of them. Now, I was really trying to get back there, but I was disoriented. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how it ends up going. Out of the big boys, and I win. Three more floors. Yeah, I'm definitely using this time of year to relax. Like, I'm always around here to pump out ads, produce shows, and get that done. But I'm definitely not looking to, oh god, I've got a free day. I've got to stream for like 4 or 5 hours and have, you know 20, 30 people at a time watching, and it's just like, we got to build this audience. It's like, no, I think we have our audience, and now there are maybe other ways we can continue to try and grow. But I don't think we're ever going to be like a huge streaming site. Especially because streaming is so hard to make any money in. Dog Witch. Quirky dice and deck builder. Roguelike. on Steam for $10. Good luck, quirky Dyson build thing, Dog Witch. Wish you the best. Like, there have been times in the past where, like, oh shit, a press release is up, I gotta write it up. And it's like, most people don't actually care about these press releases. I will write the ones up and the stories up that I think people will actually care about. I will make sure headlines is set. Like, headlines wasn't a thing for a long time. Then John started doing this full time, and that turned into being able to do a twice weekly news show that has really grown into one of our most watched things. But even then, headlines doesn't make any money. Like, headlines rarely gets super chats. It rarely gets super stickers. It rarely gets gifted subs. It's just something we like doing, and I know our community appreciates. But like, the ad money is like $1. Like, a couple thousand hits might get you $3-4 for, you know, an hour of being live, but multiple hours of me prepping the show every day or every time. Like, it's essentially like we'd be paid, I don't know, 30 cents a pop, 30 cents an hour each. From a business standpoint, it doesn't make any sense to do the show the way we do it. But it has enough viewers where I do think one thing next year we really need to try and figure out is actual sponsorships, whereas you get money and you get more money if people use the code type of sponsorship, not just, well, if people use the code, we'll give you some money. Where it's like, okay, this person used this, like, I think the entire time we were doing the control stuff, it was almost entirely just to get free control for Nick, because the years of it paid out, like, I don't know, $100, and people bought a decent amount sometimes. But like, our cut was awful. You could spend $200 and we get like 3 or 4 or something. It wasn't much. Ow! Why is this room so painful? It was also like less of a company and more like, at least it's some free stuff. But now we are at the point where we got to figure out something sponsorship wise, because like Giant Bomb immediately has tons of sponsors. And while their streams have more viewers than us for sure, it's not like some wild crazy amount. I doubt we could get the same sponsors in that level, but we could probably get something. Just have to actually figure out how. And yeah, the main thing with Microsoft's approach to next gen is it very much could be the PC thing where, you know, there are constant upgrades available, but as long as the hardware you bought is good for 5+ years, then it's not really that different than this generation. And also, these consoles aren't going anywhere. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S are going to be supported for another decade. So I wouldn't worry about things not being good enough. That like, oh, I just bought this new Xbox and now there's a new one 6 months later. And it's like, that one might be worse, it might be better. It's very much the PC no generation thing. Eventually your hardware might age out, but there are still people using 1660 Ti's and playing most modern games. So it's a new paradigm, something new to get used to, and it's on them to make work, but it's not that different than what the other half of the hybrid equation already is. Oop. Born free, as my father was a doctor. Ah, ah, ah. That miss. Feels like Fortnite. I was playing that with Nick and John. I had so many shots that just went directly through people. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm using a rifle that doesn't have like a random spray pattern to it. It's going directly through them on my screen. And nothing. No damage. Garbage. No, none of these are maxed out stats, so Oh, garbage. The last one had some maxed out headshot damage. No, 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 no. Onto a boss floor. Ding dong. Yeah. It'll just be a new thing to really figure out what you want, what you need. It will be interesting to go through. The problem for us is very much the how do you cover what where, especially when we don't have a budget. So unless the companies send us review units or sample units, whatever they want to call them, we will be severely limited on what we can cover. It's just a simple matter of the return on investment. Are we going to get more watches on our reviews because everyone has multiple consoles to test them on? Or I'm going to guess probably not. I don't think I think they'll be more appreciated by people in the community, which is why we do try and do it. But I can't imagine us ever being like, okay, we're going to spend $5,000 buying all the people that review us this console, and then another $5,000 later on this one. It's like, no, we can get some delivered to us if people buy them to have them themselves. Awesome. Everyone else already has a computer, so that'll always be one option. Like, hey, he's the only guy that wants to play this, and he doesn't have this console. Sorry, can't buy him a console just for this review type of thing. But this Asus sent us this one to him there, so he can now cover it on that. Like, that would be the ideal scenario for us at our very small infinitesimal budget size. Ow, ow.
Vital signs critical.
How is that thing so fast? Fuck you, Lewis. Shit. Puta cabrón. Yeah, I've had mine for what, 4 years now or so. It's a 5800X and a 7900X, 7900 XTX. So the GPU is still really good for non-ray tracing, but the CPU is really starting to feel it. I've got 64 gigs of like 3200 megatransfers DDR4. It's not fast, but there's a lot of it, which really helps with editing. The XTX card's got 24 gigs of VRAM, which really helps with 4K gaming. Like, it's a good setup that can last me a while longer, but it's definitely feeling more long in the tooth than I was hoping for at this point on the CPU side. And if I'm going to upgrade, that means having to do a new motherboard and RAM alongside it. Depending on the CPU, I'm at an 850 watt power supply. I should be fine on most CPUs, but if I was to be like, I want a balls to the wall editing rig, I'm going to get a 9950X 3D. I would probably need a new power supply as well. Because once you're like, if I ever got a new GPU and one of those CPUs, I would want 1000 watts. And as games start moving to actually just being only baked in lighting as far as ray tracing goes, you need to be at least on the 20 series, but you really want to be newer, because the newer you are, the better the ray tracing cores, and games like Indiana Jones and Doom only work with them. Don't work without them. So I got one more floor to do. Yeah, one more floor. No upgrades for the library today. Yeah, I would very much like to upgrade my PC at some point next year if we have the budget. If I can resell my 7900 XTX and get like, I don't know, 300-400, if I can resell my whole motherboard and system and everything, even if it's just selling it to my kid for a few hundred because it's a big upgrade for him, that'd be nice. It would help pay for motherboard and CPU and everything at least, but the GPUs are always the main issue. They're so expensive. One last floor. And then maybe by then, we should see what this new GPU architecture from AMD is. Because I don't like NVIDIA. I think the 50 series has been a disaster. I know it's still generally the most performance, but
Shade tech
I have
detected.
had far less issues on my all AMD rig than like John has on his Intel and NVIDIA one. I am very much in the it just works phase of having a computer. I've not had a problem with this thing outside of my cat breaking the goddamn power supply cable and melting it into the power supply so that I had to buy a new power supply. I've had no it just broke on its own issues. Decent maintenance, making sure it's always dusted out and everything like that is all I need to worry about. Oh my god, show your head, lady. I need to murder you. Shit. Bleh. Run me with a couple of Uzis, you kidding? I am entrenched with an LMG. Oh my god, there's still more people coming. Oh, there's a guy behind me. Where is he? There he is. Ooh! She got double killed. Oh no, you're my friend. Just had the creepy little electricity on you, so I thought you were bad. I'm sorry. Black Ops Eddie ready for lunch. Multiplayer. Email. New blog about Black Ops 7. I'll handle that right after the stream. We might have already done it. Ask John if there's anything new here. Oh, God, no. Just doing my 15 for the weekly. Figuring it out. I'm in between reviews again. Hoping to get Pigeon Simulator soon. Then it'll just be Pigeon Simulator, because it's on Game Pass, and Black Ops 7 campaign. And then from there, almost nothing. I want to do Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I like it a lot more than Nick. I can just get him a copy and I'll probably be happy. But then there's not a ton. I want to do that, and I want to do Routine. And then I think December mostly becomes Game of the Year stuff. Buying guides for Christmas, like all the boring shit, but the boring makes money for the website to exist shit, so. Got him. Hey, that's every floor that I needed. Leveled up. Got an apparel key. Can get another thing I've already had before. Probably blue. Yep. A hat I already have. Yep. Duplicate item. Textiles rewarded. Textiles pointless because you can't buy anything else with them. I bought everything I think I can. Another 2 watch levels. I have the least amount of shade calibrations. I guess I'll choose you. Oh wait, and then all of these. Wow, 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 wow. I'm a puppy kitty now. Yeah, I'll probably take Savannah for a nice long walk after this. Yeah, it's the big show. And what exotic that I already have did I get? Another chameleon. Great gun. Doubt it's better than the one I have. Full. 3/4, 3/4 versus almost full for all 3. Yep. Hey, it's more exotic components I don't need. Because I'm too lazy to re-roll anything. Like, my gear is all good enough for challenging, so I don't really push it hard for, like, heroic. Because heroic's annoying as shit. Because you could die really fast, and if you die 3 times, you have to restart. Which sucks. I don't like wasting time. Anything for the library? No. Oop. More exotic components. How many exotic components do I have? $102. I have broken down 102 exotics. That is a lot. Oh, my back. Oh, man. All right, head back to DC. More emails. Daedalic. And another dungeon crawler roguelite. My god, there's so many games coming out all the time. It is so impossibly hard to keep up with all of them. Like, legit can't do it. Ooh. A stormy evening. My character hunched over oddly. Oh, man. So the rest of the week will be headlines tomorrow, and then I think right as headlines goes live is John's review, and an hour before headlines is my review. So that's tomorrow. And then Friday, the thing that's up there, or the little thing that's right here, Extra Life. All day Friday, there will be a bunch of games up as incentives. There's over 30 codes, but they generally go pretty quickly. So I'll be starting around 9 o'clock. They'll all be listed on the link up there, tinyurl.com/exlife2025. I'll be seeing you guys again tomorrow for headlines, but then Friday, that'll probably be, we'll probably get to that $1,000 and do the full 12 hours raising money for the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital of Clearwater, Florida. Until then, though, thank you everyone for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the news. Ciao for now.
I've been crawling on my belly, clearing out what beyond lit insecure delusions. I wanna feel